this could be Hamburg, I think. Oh, this is a weird bus stop. This is like Bonn, I think. We do have a bunch of clues. We have train tracks in the east. We have Bonn signs. It's like Rheinallee, Rheinpromenade. This should be extremely gettable. Okay. So, let's see, I mean. We have to be like right by the tracks, right? I was looking at the Rhine, but we have to be like close to the tracks. Joachimstraße, Arnstraße. Poststraße. Okay, like, I can't, okay, this has to be like super central, right? Leading like northeast, right? Maybe it's like all the way down here. I mean, this is close to the Rhine again, I guess. It has to be those tracks, right? I don't see it being any other tracks. I was expecting this to be like downtown Bonn. It would take like 20 seconds to get. But I guess it can't be that easy. Like, if it's called Rheinallee, it has to be like by the Rhine. Right? And it has to be a big road. Unless like this is actually just Cologne and I'm getting hardcore beta thinking it's Bonn. And it looks so much like Bonn. Oh, Rheinallee, thank God. Okay. Just complain and then you'll get it. Okay, so Rheinallee. I mean, it has to be just like. I guess. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't look too good. I mean, maybe, alright. Yeah, actually, yeah, because like, let's ignore the tunnel because it's like underground. Yeah, with the maybe a bit north of the intersection. Okay, but good enough. Looking at a, oh, what is that? It's just Hamburg, I guess. Is it? It's not. What? No. Can't be. It's like Frankfurt, I believe. Which is honestly fine, because I now know where the Frankfurt TV tower is. It's like kind of invisible on the map. It's like near Ginheim. It's like somewhere here. Like somewhere up here. I don't know exactly where. But like somewhere there. So we could be like south of that. Let's go for like Dittmarstraße and something. Leonhardt something. Dittmarstraße was it, right? This road layout looks good. Dittmarstraße, thank you. Horststraße am Leonhardsbronn. Okay. That was honestly easier than I thought it was gonna be. That's really clutch that I learned where the TV tower is, and here we're looking at a Leipzig. MDR tower, 2 hour north. We have an Aldi nearby, which is really helpful. And an Edeka as well. Okay, so the massive pro tip for Leipzig. The MDR tower is actually like a massive bait. Because if you look at the map, you'll see the MDR is down there. But the MDR tower is actually just like somewhere over here. It's like downtown. I don't know exactly where it is. It's just somewhere here. I wish I could show you exactly, but I don't know exactly where it is. Anyway, so we are going to be just like south of that. I'm just going to look for... That's Edeka. Please tell me there's an Aldi nearby, because this would be really clutch. Maybe like just there, honestly. It could just be there, because then there would be like this little parking lot. What's that? Friseur? Friseur salon? Oh my lord. Piercing something? I mean, F. Schulze. Friseur salon Oertel, Leipzig. Oertel, yes. Okay, nice. Very good. So yeah. Really good. That's 3 for 3. That's the best one of the day, which is kind of insane. Like, I'll go with that. You can't even read it, because honestly I should add like a stroke to that. Like an outline. Boom. That's not what I wanted to do. Outline, there we are. That's not very helpful. I mean, it's better than what we had before. This is Hamburg, right? Yeah. Yeah. You can just use the train tracks. This is Bamberg station, I think. Yeah, Museum der Arbeit. Yeah, that's so clutch. Okay, we can't get too excited just yet. It's 20k. Alright, it's something. Just make absolutely sure we don't click on the wrong road. Which honestly we could do, because I don't think we're on that road, are we? We're on this road, right? Does the angle make sense? It's more like northwest. Yeah, it makes sense. So there's like, there should be Marienstraße there, that's there. So we're like there. That should be good enough. Yes. Okay, let's edit the text again. I swear I'm gonna get like an autobahn in the middle of nowhere, or like a random suburban round in like Stuttgart. Yeah, it is actually Stuttgart. Okay, we have no tram tracks, unfortunately, which is that makes this so much harder. Sill something Burgstraße. That's all we've got. Okay, we have to try. I fucking manifested it. It's exactly what I said it was gonna be. Oh, goddammit. At least we do have a street name. Although, like, I can't say for certain what it is. Like Silberburgstraße or something like that. I'm just trying to, like, read things in the blur. Also, it looks like there's, like, a little, like, not restaurant, but like a pub, something, which might not exist anymore, you know. But yeah, I guess, it is time. Silberburgstraße. Are you fucking for real? It's getting real. Okay, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. We have no idea what road we're on, or like what intersection we're on. Actually, no clue. Let's look at everything. I do not think it's there. I do not think it's there. I do not think it's there. Oh, this is a long road. This is where it ends. Let's check the northern side. I don't think it's there. Oh, this is a really, really long road. This is a really long road. Oh no! Why are you doing this to me? Oh, this could be it. Because, you know, there's like a name on the house. It says like... It's something with F. But it's not Friederike Fliednerhaus. Oh, actually it could be Friederike Fliednerhaus. Because there's like a rift here or something. Silberbockstraße like 53. Like that's... Can we read the name of like the pub? Because this could honestly be that. This looks exactly that, like that. This is like a retirement home. Or like something like that. It could just be that. That's like, it looks like there's like another restaurant down there, which could just be that. And then there's also some business there, which could be Trattoria Tabano, I guess. And then that would be the end of the road right there, right? No, it's not. God damn it. Wait. Does the road continue up north? Because we do have buildings there. It looks like there's only like 2 intersections left, but that's not the case. Actually, let's check all of these. Maybe that's just more. Man. But I think that might just also... It might just look like that, honestly. I think like what I've learned from this grind is that like it's really difficult to like judge distances on Street View. Okay. Another thing we do have is the house number, which appears to be like in the 50s. And honestly, we could just count the houses and maybe make a guess based on that. It looks like this road name is like not the longest of all time. Maybe there's like a little park there. This looks good. There's a park here. There's a park there. This looks so good. And we definitely have some sort of like retirement home here. It says something like house is the last word, something with F. The only concern that I have is that this word is a little bit too short because it would have to be Friederike. But also we have a rift here, right? So the image isn't quite accurate. We do have like a tavern here and another restaurant down there, which we also have here. Do we have like a florist? We do not. But, I mean, this coverage is from like 2008 or 2009, right? So like that could have changed. On the other hand, this looks like a residential building. Like we have the garages down there. I don't really think you would have like a shop in there, but this looks so good. Okay, let's like maybe count the houses, right? This is gonna be say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, like maybe counting from the south side, it would definitely be way more than 50 though. Like way more than 50. But like considering it is like in the 50s somewhere, it can't just be like the edge of the road because it kind of looks like this is the end of the road. But yeah, that could be quite far away. Actually, that was in the 60s as well. This is number 66. Or maybe the numbers are a bit strange. Oh, actually, this is probably 59. Well, this one is in the 60s because it's such a long building. Actually, that probably doesn't really make sense. It would just be like multiple house numbers, probably. Considering we have the park there, there's no other place that on this road that has a park like that, and it has to be there. That's literally the only place it could be. If I miss this, I'm gonna be so sad. But this should be correct. Yes! It's over. It's actually over. Okay. That's insane. That's absurd. That's crazy. Wow, okay. I actually did it. I mean, in hindsight, it had to be that. But I spent like 10 minutes just confirming as that, because like I always just misclick. I'm always like 10 meters off. I'm like 2 blocks away, you know. And the thing is, like, this was a skill-based round. And it's a PB as well, right? Because my previous PB, which was with moving, was like 22 minutes. That was with moving. This was without moving. What was I gonna say? This was a skill-based round, right? Because, like, you know, what I was, like, kind of hoping for was that I would get a seed that's just, like 3 locations in downtown Hamburg. That's, like, Jungfernstieg, like, Mönckebergstraße, like, Central Station. And then maybe we'll get, like, a Berlin Central Station and, like something that might require a bit of skill, but where we have like a street name and like, you know, an obvious clue for where it would be. This was a bunch of like just really good scanning and also like good recognition of where it would be. So like first round, I recognized quickly that it was a Bonn bus stop. And then I looked around, and then I saw that it was called Rheinallee. I mean, first of all, I saw, like, the sign, and, like, these kind of street signs look almost identical to the Berlin street signs. But, like, this is just, like, a pro tip for everyone trying to guess Germany. The font used in Berlin is actually different. So the font used in Berlin looks closer to Fraktur, which is, it's not quite Fraktur, but it is closer to Fraktur, which is a font that used to be used for German and until it was outlawed under Hitler in 1941. But that used to be like the main font used for German, right? So it looks like, I mean, this is what Fraktur looks like. So obviously it's not that, but like, I mean, this is a little bit closer to what I mean. But like, if you look at the Berlin street, I just got my goal of 25k, no moving. So yeah, I'm just reviewing the round, right? So like, especially the SZ on the Berlin font is like closer to Fraktur, right? So so SZ, right, is a letter that only exists in the German language. It's called SZ, but you pronounce it S. It's like a sharp S. And the origin of this letter actually comes from Fraktur, which is that in Fraktur, there used to be 2 different S depending on the pronunciation. Like there used to be a sharp S and like a soft S. And the letter SZ is like a combination of the 2, pretty much. Like, this kind of like explains it, not really. Yeah, this shows it, right? So no, it's not like the font. It's just that the writing system used to be different, right? We just used to have 2 different S. Or like, no, well, I mean, I guess it is the writing system. There used to be just 1 big S, or like one capital S, and 2 lowercase s. And they used to look like this in Fraktur. I actually can't tell you. I think this one is the sharp S and this one is like the soft S. So the letter SZ only exists because of like these 2 letters combined that look like this, right? And the SZ that you see on the signs in Berlin clearly indicates that. It doesn't look like the regular SZ that you would see it clearly shows like the combination of like the sharp S, and this almost looks like a cursive Z, right? And like that's such a good clue for Berlin, because the letter SZ is like part of the word Straße, which means street. So you'll see it everywhere. So yeah. So if you look at the font here, you can tell it's, I mean, you don't have the L, or like the SZ, you have like double L instead because it's Ali. But yeah, like typically like the font for Berlin is like super recognizable. And it also is like the B and the E. Very recognizable. This was not the font. This looks like a standard font. And also the next big clue that it was probably going to be Bonn was that it says Rheinallee, right? So Rhine is like, or the Rhine in English is like a big river. I'm going to open Google Maps in a new window because it always zooms in on your house and we don't want that. Okay, so here you go. The Rhine River is like this massive river, goes through like a bunch of massive cities like Cologne and Bonn and Düsseldorf. The Bonn, yeah. It looks more like this. I don't know like quite what font it is. I don't even know what kind of font I would compare it to. But it definitely reminds me more of like a sans font, like Helvetica, like Arial or something like that. It's not quite that, but it's probably like some custom font. But yeah, so like Rhine River had to be. I think Düsseldorf might use blue street signs. So like, even if you like didn't know like, actually I was gonna say even if you didn't know the street sign, but yeah, other way around. Like if you know your signs. If you didn't know your Bonn signs, you could clearly tell it probably wasn't going to be Düsseldorf, so probably like Cologne or Bonn. I can't quite tell you what Cologne bus stops look like. Actually, I'm interested. What do they look like? Oh, they look like this. What the fuck? Okay. I don't think I've ever seen one. I think I've probably seen one of those, but yeah, they are very distinct. I guess this almost looks like a Hamburg bus stop, like it's similar with like the red pole, and that's the only similarity, but yeah. So you'll see something like that. Also the tram stops in Cologne are very distinct because you have this red sign. But yeah, so yeah, we have the Bonn bus stops, and then we also have the tracks here, and that just narrows it down because there's pretty much only one like track that goes through the entire city. Okay, now that I look at it from like this close, I could clearly see the name Rheinallee. I had to zoom in and like check every single road. I guess I just glossed over it. But yeah, considering the name of the road is Rheinallee, you would guess it's probably extremely close to the Rhine River, which also makes sense in general. So it was probably going to be like more downtown and not down there. I still checked everywhere and it took me ages to find it. But yeah, like this looks really confusing on the map because we do have the tunnel. So just ignore the tunnel, right? The kiosk there helped as a reference. Is kiosk a word you use in English? I think it is. Is it? I can't type anymore. Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm not stupid. Yeah, okay, so like overall that was like a very easy Bonn. I mean, obviously like any city can be extremely tricky if you don't know them. Like the only one that I can guess like well is Hamburg, just because like I am from Hamburg and I know like most parts of Hamburg, or like a lot of parts of Hamburg, not all of them, but like I always know, like just because I know the city, I always know like which part of town to look in, so that I can find some like more obscure roads. I actually had a stream the other day where I was looking for like a random road like somewhere down here, and it was like actually a tiny road. I think it was like somewhere in like this area, and I was looking for like 20 minutes and I couldn't find it, and it was like really close to where I looked. But yeah, like that's really rough. Sometimes I try to look for those kind of roads, but like during this entire grind I always said I'll just reset until I get like easy rounds, and then if I get something insanely difficult like round 4, round 5, I'll look for it. But yeah, this was a pretty easy one, all things considered. Near Bonn-Bad Godesberg. Yeah, it's not like too central. Like obviously, I was looking here first, like near the central station. But yeah, it is down there. Pretty good. Took me like 3 minutes. Then the second one was Frankfurt. Let's look at it. Okay, so this actually was the clutchest thing of all time, right? When I first saw the TV tower, it reminded me of the Hamburg TV tower, the Heinrich-Hertz-Turm, but then I realized, wait, that's not the Hamburg TV tower. And then I realized this architecture does not look like Hamburg in the slightest. Then I was kind of confused for a moment. Then I looked at the signs again, because like the Frankfurt signs and the Hamburg signs do look very similar. But then I realized, wait, with these signs, it's going to be Frankfurt. And the architecture definitely checks out for Frankfurt. And the clutchest thing is that I learned where the TV tower is in Frankfurt today, right? I had a round at some point. Maybe it was not today, maybe it was the last stream. But I want to say it was earlier in this VOD, where I looked at the TV tower, and I think I had a round with the TV tower. I just gave up because I had no idea what it was. Like, I think I checked like Stuttgart and Nuremberg and like maybe some other cities. I gave up. And it was indeed Frankfurt. And it turns out the TV tower in Frankfurt is like up here near Ginheim, I think. Like, yeah, somewhere up here, like this area. And it's actually not marked on the map, which is just awesome. Like, it's just a blank spot on the map. So I actually said this, like, you can rewind the tape, you can go back to it. I said, let's just try and remember the Frankfurt TV tower is like somewhere near Ginheim, like this general area. Maybe it was like Nordweststadt, I don't really know. So I saw this, I was like, okay, probably Frankfurt, TV tower straight north. Let's just check in this area. I had the street name, luckily, which was like almost blurred out, but I could see it. And so I had to look for a bit, and I found it like very quickly. It took me 1.5 minutes. So that was really good. That was, why does it say Hauptbahnhof? What? Okay. Yeah, Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, that's where it is. So that was really clutch. Did that in under 1.5 minutes. Third one was pretty clutch because we had a landmark. We didn't have a street name. So we had the MDR tower. And I said this when I got the round. I'm going to say it again just for like, just to review the tape. So the MDR tower is like a massive bait. MDR is Mitteldeutscher Rundfunk, which is a public broadcasting station. And you can actually find it on the map. That's an S-Bahn station, which says Leipzig MDR. So the MDR is located here. But the MDR tower is actually up here. Like, it's a enormous bait. It's just, I don't exactly know where it is, but it's like very close to the central station. It's somewhere up here. And I learned this the hard way because back when I did moving attempts like 3 years ago, I did that like at the peak of COVID. I would just play Germany moving 25k attempts every single day. And I would also play it in like co-op with a friend. So like back then we learned that the MDR tower is actually not where the MDR is. So good thing that I remembered that the MDR tower was in fact like up here somewhere. So I knew that, okay, it was like northwest of me. So I just checked like this general area. And like we had a couple of landmarks. We had an Aldi and we had an Edeka over here. So I was looking for an Aldi at first, but I couldn't find one, and I still can't see it. It might not exist anymore. But then I saw this Edeka here, and then I saw that there is a parking lot here, which we also have over here. Then I looked around. I checked the barber shop, and I saw that there was one here. I checked the name. It was the same. Yeah, so I just guessed that. Really good guess. Also pretty fast again, just 1 minute 18 seconds. Fourth one was in Hamburg, right? Oh yeah, this was the easiest one. No, wait, it's a different one. Oh no, it was the easiest one, just Barmbek Station. This is like one of the major rapid transit stations in Hamburg. In general, even if you don't know Hamburg, This is going to be an easy one to get because it is both an U-Bahn and an S-Bahn station. And there's actually not a lot of them. So like you could just check the map, right? So the only ones like that are shared between U-Bahn and S-Bahn are Central Station, obviously, Jungfernstieg, which is underground, and so is Central Station, Berliner Tor, which is above ground for S-Bahn, underground for U-Bahn, Wandsbeker Chaussee, which is somewhere up here. Am I stupid? Oh yeah, Wandsbeker Chaussee, which is above ground. Then there's Barmbek up here. And then there's Sternschanze over here. And Landungsbrücken. Oh, yeah. Sternschanze is above ground for S-Bahn, underground for U-Bahn. And Landungsbrücken is underground for S-Bahn and above ground for U-Bahn. So if you check your map... Oh, also there's Elbbrücken as well. But this, which is also above ground for both. But this station was opened in like 2018. So you wouldn't see it on Blemini. And I want to say that's all stations. No, Ohlsdorf as well. There's also Ohlsdorf up here. Which, hello, that's the wrong side of town. Ohlsdorf is way more north up here, which is above ground for both. But I want to say that's actually all of them. So if you just check the map and check all of the like joined U-Bahn and S-Bahn stations, like you can like rule out most of them. Like you don't even need to know which ones are above ground and which ones are below ground. The tracks are marked when they are above ground, so you could use that. But yeah, like the angle obviously makes too much sense. And then we have the Museum der Arbeit as well, which you can actually see here. It says it right there, Museum der Arbeit. Pretty popular museum. That's like one of the bigger ones. Like we have the Kunsthalle, which is like near the central station down there. There's Museum für Kunst und Gewerbe. There's Bucerius Kunstforum down there, which I guess, oh, and you can see it. Those are like the big museums. I mean, these are like art museums. Well, I mean, yeah. This one, it says it right there, exhibitions on industry and social history. This is a pretty interesting place, honestly. So yeah, you could use the road layout, you could use the angle of the tracks, you could look for the museum as well. So even if you don't know Hamburg, I think this is like a very, very gettable round. You can kind of make out the road name. Not really, but like if you look at the map, you can like, if you see this, like Marienstraße, you could maybe think this might say that. Like if you already recognize that word, or like if you know the word, you might like recognize it in the blur. So yeah, overall, I think this is like the easiest round from this entire seed. Like even if you just gotta work out it's Hamburg. It's very gettable that it is Hamburg in general, because of this train, right? So the Hamburg U-Bahn is like silver with red doors. It kind of depends on the like the model. There's like actually nowadays there's two different train types that are used, which are known as DT4 and DT5. This is a DT3 type, which is no longer used. But yeah, they all look pretty similar. We all have the silver and red color scheme. In general, so U-Bahn, for those who don't know, U-Bahn is the subway or the underground or the metro or whatever you want to call it. And S-Bahn is like a commuter train. It does have like a definition, like generally the defining characteristic of an S-Bahn is that like they all share like the same route like through the city center, known as the Stammstrecke. Hamburg actually has two of them. We have the City Tunnel, which is via Altona, Königstraße, Reeperbahn, Landungsbrücken, Straßbrücke, Jungfernstieg, Hauptbahnhof. And then there's also the Verbindungsbahn, which is Holstenstraße, Sternschanze, Dammtor, Hauptbahnhof. So yeah, we have two of those, but generally all S-Bahn systems have like one shared line in the city center and then they branch out in the suburbs. So that's what makes an S-Bahn an S-Bahn. It's not really something you get outside of Germany. You do get that in Copenhagen and in Zurich, in Switzerland, though the Zurich S-Bahn is quite different. But yeah, that's what those two are. So S-Bahn you actually get in like pretty much every big city in Germany. Generally, they are quite different depending on the city. In Hamburg and in Berlin, S-Bahn are used just to like get around like in the city center. While in like most other cities that are not Hamburg and Berlin, you mainly only use them to like get out of town or like to get into the town. Actually, like Frankfurt and Munich have pretty good S-Bahn systems like in the city center, so it's like kind of similar to like a subway there. But yeah, also like the Hamburg S-Bahn is kind of scuffed because like another characteristic of an S-Bahn is that it branches out into like the suburbs, and like pretty much all of the Hamburg S-Bahn system is just within the city limits. Like pretty much the only line that really branches out into the suburbs is the S3, which leads all the way to Stade over here. But yeah, like it also terminates in Pinneberg, and then another line terminates in Aumühle, which is not in Hamburg. But the rest is just within the city limits. But yeah, like that's what those are. But actually, I wanted to talk about U-Bahn, right? So the blue U is something you can get in a lot of cities in Germany. But actually, there's only 4 cities in Germany that have an actual subway, which are Hamburg, Berlin, Munich, and Nuremberg, right? Every other city that uses the blue U actually has what's known as a Stadtbahn. And the difference is that subway is just completely independent from all other modes of traffic, while a Stadtbahn is basically a tram that has underground sections in the city center. And they are actually marked a little differently on the map. A lot of Stadtbahn have the U-Bahn logo on maps, some don't. Some, like Cologne, only has the tram symbol, which is kind of confusing. Hamburg has like both the U-Bahn symbol and the metro symbol, and you also get that in like Frankfurt as well. And like IRL, the symbols that they use are different depending on the town. So this is the real U-Bahn symbol, which is like the blue square with like a giant white U. And this you get like everywhere where you get like an actual U-Bahn, so like Hamburg, Berlin, Nuremberg, Munich. In towns like Hanover, the shade of blue is actually lighter, and it's also more of a square. Like this is more rectangular, right? It's a little higher than wide. Also, some cities like Stuttgart and a lot of cities in the Ruhrgebiet, the symbol says U-Stadtbahn. So in Stuttgart, it says Stadtbahn below the U, and in the Ruhrgebiet, it says Stadtbahn like on the U in the middle. So that's a really good clue for like guessing a lot of cities. Like Frankfurt only uses the regular symbol because they also call their Stadtbahn U-Bahn, although it's really not an U-Bahn. But yeah, if you see this kind of symbol, this is the actual legit U-Bahn. So you're gonna be in like Hamburg, Berlin, or Nuremberg, or Munich. And then if you get the train, that should pretty much confirm it, because Hamburg is silver and red. In Berlin, the U-Bahn is yellow. In Nuremberg, it is red. And in Munich, it is blue. So they are very different. S-Bahn are pretty much always red, except for Berlin, where it is yellow and red. And it's like a dark yellow, and it's more like a wine red. And in Leipzig, the S-Bahn is silver. Right. And I think like in Bremen, it's like blue and white, but that one's actually not operated by the national rail company. But yeah, also like generally S-Bahn are always operated by the national rail company, while the U-Bahn are operated by like local companies. So yeah, that's that. So generally, if you see this, you're gonna be, especially like shared stations like this, you're gonna be in like Hamburg, Berlin, Munich, or Nuremberg. Generally in cities with Stadtbahn, you'll only see the S-Bahn symbol. And then the U-Bahn is probably going to be like somewhere below, right? It's either going to be like underground and you'll see an entrance like on the street level, or you're just going to see like a tram here somewhere. So yeah, I just talked about U-Bahn and S-Bahn for like 20 minutes. But I feel like there's a lot to know that like a lot of GeoGuessr players don't know, because Germany is so easy to guess, right? Because you don't need to know anything about Germany. If you just play like a worldwide map, like you just hedge like Ruhrgebiet. Unless you know it's like Berlin, then you'll click like Berlin. But like from what I've seen from like pro players, they know nothing about Germany, and that's like so many clues you can use. And I feel like public transit is like one of the biggest ones. But yeah, so that was the Hamburg round. Let's go to the next one, which was actually the last one, which was Stuttgart. So I actually manifested it. After I got the easiest Hamburg of all time, I said it's gonna be like a suburban round in Stuttgart where I won't have a street name or anything, and I don't know where it is. I actually got Stuttgart. It wasn't as suburban as it could have been. Still, like the problem with Stuttgart is I know nothing about the city. I know some things, but like I can't really region guess it. So one thing that really helped me out, obviously, was the road layout. I could just look at the compass. I had this like northwest facing road, and like in most parts of Stuttgart, you get these like serpentine roads, just because this town is like basically like in a valley and like it's extremely hilly, and you can like kind of see it how hilly it is. So like generally, if you see like big hills, you're either gonna be in like Stuttgart or Wuppertal. And then also if you have these like electricity cables like spanning across every single road, you're gonna be in Stuttgart. Like that's so common. I've also seen it in like I think Nuremberg today, but like it is a different looking like cable. Like I want to say in Nuremberg I only had like one or two cables, while in Stuttgart you get like actually no, okay, so in Nuremberg I only had these like the ones like crossing the road, but in Stuttgart you get these like parallel ones, or like the ones like above the road like that, like the ones following the road. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You also have like I mean, it's not really a suburb. It is like just Stuttgart, right? It is a part of town. It's actually like kind of close to the city center. Like I was afraid it would be like up here, like Zuffenhausen or like Korntal, or I don't know, Südheim, like I don't know, like one of those places. It's still like decently close to the city center. Like you do get a bunch of like public transit here. Again, Stadtbahn, not U-Bahn. You can see it on the map, but it's a Stadtbahn, right? Because you could see it looks like a tram. It just follows the road. But yeah, like not as bad as it could have been, right? Like we're really close to the center, decently close to the center. And then like the good thing is that I had this retirement home over here, and you could like almost read it. Like you can't quite read it, but like you could like maybe guess what it might say, right? So like maybe like Silbar something Straße. Like this is clearly Straße. Begin with S. There's like a Burg here, maybe. Burg again was only recognizable because it's a common word, right? I didn't quite know what the beginning was. It was like Sil something, other than like Burg is a common word, so I would have figured it might be that. Yeah, and also like it was so clutch that it actually was a retirement home with like a name, with like 3 words, the first 2 beginning in F, and the last one being house. So I miraculously zoomed in on the correct road. I was like, you know what? These kind of road layouts, just they look okay. I zoomed in, first thing I see Silberburgstraße. I'm like, okay, that's insane. I think I almost clicked like here, like somewhere where the houses look good, because that like I think I almost clicked here because there's a gap between the 2 houses, which you also get here, right? So I was like, maybe. And then I was like, okay, you know what? It's the last round. I have to do it now. So I checked and I realized, oh wait, it's a really long road. Then I went the other way and I saw, okay, it's an absurdly long road. But yeah, what came into clutch is that we did have the retirement home, and I saw it said Friederike Fliedner House, which it had to be this. The only concern was that the first word was like too short to be Friederike, but like obviously that was just because of like the Google Street View thing with like the image being kind of messed up. But I still like I second guessed myself so hard because everything depended on this one, right? We couldn't mess it up. But we also had like the tavern here and the restaurant here, which we also had here. We did have this little park here, which was actually the only one on the road. Also, like this might have been like a restaurant or something. The only thing that made me want to second guess myself was the fact that there was no florist here. And like, I mean, obviously the coverage is from like 2009, right? But I don't know. I guess there might be a florist in this building nowadays. It doesn't really look like a building that would contain that, but I guess maybe the entrance is like on the other side or something. You never know. So yeah, really clutch. Honestly, it was so clutch that I was here and not like over here. Because like knowing this map, there's so many locations in this map that are just like right next to one another, right? I feel like this is probably a location on this map. I swear this is probably a location on this map. This one may be more gettable because you can actually read the street name properly, but like on the other hand, or actually no, you also get that street name, so it's probably a better get, like a better location to get. This one would have been like, this would have been awful. For this, I would have had to just look for a random thing. There's absolutely no way I could read that. So really lucky. I mean, I guess I could have read that, Diogenes, which is still the name. And I guess I could have used the park and the road layout, but like that would have been so difficult. I would have looked for an hour. So just like clutch that I got this location. It could have been much worse, but like honestly, like this entire grind, I think this is stream number 7 or 8, and like all of these streams were between like 3 and 4 hours, so it was quite a long grind. I want to say this was like 20 hours, right? And I'm still sitting on like the 3rd video because like, you know, I'm making supercuts of these streams and uploading them to YouTube. I'm still sitting on the 3rd video, which I've actually edited. I did the rough cut. Like I need to go over it again and like adjust the audio levels and like add a bunch of like reference images and explanations and like memes and stuff like that was mentioned, which I've been too lazy to do. So I guess now I can actually just sit down and upload these videos. That was one stream that was over 4 hours that I'm definitely gonna split into 2 videos because all of these videos were like 40 to 50 minutes, and that was just the highlights. So I guess I might split that one into 2. I think I will also split this stream into 2, just because we need to include the review of the game, right? I'll just call it like Road to 25k episode number 59, and then like it's just the run. But the video is still gonna be like 40 minutes long, so no one's gonna know when they click on it. Yeah, insane that I got it. Because the thing is, like, I knew I had to do it now because like the reason I decided to do this grind was because there was new coverage coming out middle of June, right? So today is the 11th of June. I mean, actually, it's still the 10th of June in some time zones, but it's just past midnight. So technically, it still feels like the 10th of June. July, I meant, not June. So like the new coverage could be coming out in like a week from now. So I knew I had the deadline. I knew I had to do it. It made me think, okay, there's new coverage gonna be coming out very soon. The old coverage is gonna get deleted. If I want to get 25k no moving, I have to do it on Germany, just because I can only get like a handful of cities. While like on the new coverage, you can get like the entire country, and it's gonna be impossible to get 25k no moving unless you're a god. So I knew I had to do it. I did have like 1 trillion 25ks with moving. But yeah, like that's actually like what I like first did when I got into the game. The first thing I really did was just like I played the world map with moving. I was awful at it. The only clue that I used when I first got into GeoGuessr was languages, because like I'm really good at like recognizing languages and stuff like that, and like knowing where they're spoken. So I could use that. I didn't know any other meta. And then like I began playing Germany. And I did that with a friend a bunch. Like that was like during COVID. Like we would just hop on a call every day. We would just like guess Germany together. And that was back then on like the better Germany map made by a mapper, which is like definitely more balanced. Because this one, like half of these locations were just Hamburg or Berlin. Also, Bremen and Bielefeld have coverage, but I swear those towns do not appear in this map. I haven't gotten a single Bremen or Bielefeld throughout this entire grind. And also, like the Ruhrgebiet was like very rare. I've gotten a couple of Essens and a couple of days, a couple of like Colognes and Dortmund and Düsseldorf, but like a couple of Bonns. I mean, Cologne and Bonn aren't even Ruhrgebiet. That's like, you know, more south of that. But like general, like this is the most populated part of the entire country. I've gotten that so little. Only gotten like Hamburg and Berlin. This is Berlin, which really came in clutch. But yeah, also this map has a ton of like photospheres, not photospheres, but like tracker coverage, right? And like tripod coverage, which is just the bane of my existence. I hate it so much. There's a ton of coverage inside a museum. So the Mappa map is so much better. It does not exist anymore. Mappa has now... Today is the day a diverse world got deleted. Which is the most legendary map of all time. It was like the last remaining map made by Mappa that wasn't deleted yet. It's gone now. So yeah, we had to play the official map, which is horrible. And GeoGuessr just keeps making terrible maps. They keep adding features no one wants. They don't care about like the enjoyable experience for the players. But yeah, even though this map is like actually garbage, it's incredibly unbalanced. It has a ton of like impossible to guess locations. Or like it has impossible to pinpoint locations because most of the locations in this map are just in the middle of a road. And that's the nightmare of like every GeoGuessr player, because if you're on the middle of a road, if it's a map as small as this one, it's going to be so hard to get the 5k, because you need to be within like 25 meters to get the 5k. And if it's the middle of a road, if you have no intersection or like nothing to line it up with, it's actually impossible. Like you keep getting these like 4999, 4998, stuff like that, just because it's so hard. And because it's so blurry as well, like you can rarely read the street names as well, which is like 25k no moving is like such an impossible feat. Like it's stupid to go for, but we did it nonetheless. It's absurd. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the new coverage. I'm like actually really excited because it's gonna change the game so much. So the thing is, once the new coverage is out, I'm gonna play a ton of Germany. I will never ever do like 25k attempts again, because like 5ks are awesome when you get them, like when you figure them out fast, or when you get like enough clues to like work it out quickly. Or if you just recognize the location IRL. But like going for 25k or like going just for 5ks is not fun, because you have to reset like again and again, and like guesses that would be insane on like any other map are just not good enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just do like high score attempts, right? Or like I'll just play, right? I need to just learn everything. Like there's so much I don't know. Right? Like I know nothing about Ulm or like Blaubeeren, what the heck, Blaubeuren, or like Villingen, Schwenningen. Like, of course, I know what like the landscape looks like more or less, but there's so much meta to learn and to discover. Like, I mean, I want to say I'm like pretty cracked at like Schleswig-Holstein and like Lüneburger Heide area in Lower Saxony, but like, I mean, yeah, there's just like Greater Hamburg area. Like, wonder why I'm good at that. It's gonna be fun just to see like the rest of the country and to like guess it. And it's gonna make like world maps so much more fun. Or like it's gonna make the world map so much harder, because if you get like rural rounds in like Netherlands or Denmark, Poland, Czech Republic, they look so similar. And now Germany is gonna make that like Western Europe roulette so much more difficult. Because like with like a rural round where you get like absolutely nothing except a field, it's gonna be so hard to actually like guess the right country, especially if like everything is Gen 4 and you get like no car meta. That makes it really hard. Also, like the bollards in Germany are the same as in like Czech Republic and Luxembourg. They're like white and then they have a black stripe and like a white dot on it. It's gonna change the game in many ways. I'm hoping I can like contribute to like developing the Germany meta. I should honestly like just write down everything about like rapid transit and stuff that I know, which I guess would help out a bunch of players. Although I feel like someone has probably already done that. But like in the future, like most players are gonna have to learn Germany, which like so far is something I feel like that only a couple of people have done. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. But yeah, I'm happy like I don't have to do this anymore, because this is the opposite of what I like to do in this game. What I like to do in this game is I like to play, like I like to guess as fast as possible, right? Like even if there are clues, I don't care. I just won't even look at them. I'll just look at the thing and then I guess, right? Right now, if it's wrong, I don't care. I'll just reset.